So this is by far probably the cleanest 101 that I've had. I've seen nicer ones that had the plastic on them still, but this one's not all scratched up. The face has been touched up on the paint in a couple of spots by somebody else. They were apparently using the Mox button quite a bit. You can see that wear mark right there. And they took a paintbrush and they touched up the paint, which I guess they did an okay job. They were turning the heater switch on and off or doing something weird. I don't know how they screwed it up like that. I mean, when I turn the radio on or off, I don't even touch that area. Same thing with that. I mean, I guess I can see how it would happen, but and it looks like a wear mark, or maybe that was just them trying to clean up their mistake with the paint. But other than that, like, this one is like really, really good, because my 101B, the lettering is starting to peel off. There's a chip on a few of these when you're like, there's a lip on these. I don't know if you can see it, but they get chipped. Sometimes it'll be completely broken, but I haven't really seen issues with these knobs like I have on other radios. And they were smart to use the metal pointer instead of like Heathkit doing with the plastic bullshit like these. These aren't good, but I don't think I've ever run across a 101 that had them broken. The old early 101 had a metal one there, which I prefer. I think they should have left these as metal, but whatever. So yeah, this one's is really, really clean. I think somebody may have partially recapped it. You also look in here, like I was telling you about that coil down there, but also check to see, make sure that relay's not melted, because it'll get hot in there. And then there's another relay here that will have issues, but and then your filters are over here. If you're so lucky to have bought one with a CW or AM filter, that's where it would be, above that other sideband filter. And then you have your crystal banks over here. And if it looks like this, it's probably got 11 meters. And it's probably got the the WWV. And there's your driver tube. So, and that's the, I don't know why it says SSB filter, but it's the processor basically. Maybe it is part of the sideband filter. I thought that it had something to do with just the processor, but also there's channels 1 and 2 that you could put there and then adjust. So that's multiple things going on there, but all the 101s had channels, so you could have crystal controlled channels. But I've yet to ever buy one that had crystals in it, so I don't know that that was very common. But anyway, this is the cleanest one I got, and it puts out really good power. If you guys were watching earlier, I got Spain and Carousel earlier on it, just fiddling around. So it's definitely a good radio. I was debating what to do with the other two, and that's why I tested the tubes. So the other two have good tubes, but the radios are out of alignment, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them at this point. But there's almost like, well, I've got more than $100 into each one of the other ones. I paid $120 something for one of them, and then the other one I paid $300, but it came with some other stuff. So I don't know what every time I see them, they're more than $100, and I've not been able to sell one for $100, to be honest. Like, I know they sell like hotcakes for that price on eBay, but you know, especially free shipping. But you're not going to make that much money if you sell the damn radio for $100 on eBay, and you're probably going to deal with. You have a pretty good chance of dealing with somebody that's going to cause you a bunch of problems. You know, like, oh, it doesn't match the description. I want my money back. Oh, this thing's no good. The tubes are flat. You know, and that's what the trouble with selling a radio like this is that whoever's going to buy it's probably never used one before, and they don't know how to tune up a radio with tubes, and they're going to flatten the tubes and they're going to blame you. It's going to be your fault. You know, it's going to be, you sold me a bad radio and now I want my money back. And then you're not going to have any choice, and you're at the mercy of how they pack it up and ship it back to you. And you're going to get a radio back with bad tubes, and you're going to be paying the return shipping probably. So it's a losing situation altogether. If you can't sell it at a ham fest, it's just not going to be worth dealing with it. You might as well give it to one of your friends. And then your friends will be like, no, I don't want it. So anyway, I had one that I sold to Brian, and that one was ridiculous. That thing was putting out like 160, 180 watts. It was the original 101. And I was like, man, I should keep this thing. But what happened was I bought that radio, and then I bought a couple of other ones. And the radio that I bought, the original one, it didn't have 160 meters. And I just thought, well, you know, why do I want to collect an early 101? You know, I want all the bands. So I just decided to get rid of it. But it was in really good shape. And I don't know what tubes it had in it, but that's the most I've ever seen any of these radios put out. It was crazy. It's like 180 watts on 20 meters. So, but that's the problem with them. They're all over the place, you know, and they all need an alignment. They're not hard to align. It's just going to be a little time consuming. And, you know, I just don't really care to be poking around in 900 volt, you know, areas of radios and stuff. So at some point, I'm probably going to let them all go. But for now, I don't know what the hell to do. And I got other radios that have more reliable tubes, like the 101 ZD uses 6146s, and it's a better tube socket, everything all together. It's better. You can convert one of these, but it isn't worth the trouble. It's just not. Maybe back in the day when, like, you know, HF radios were expensive, like, you know, a basic radio was like almost $2,000. You know, maybe then it was worth doing it, but I don't think it is now. So anyway, this is one of the 101Es.